Welcome back to the Breadcrumbs Project and to some insane days. Today is March 16th, 2026. I believe it's day 17 of the war between Iran and Iraq, and it's day 4 of my Bibi Netanyahu death watch. I mean, it has become insane to the point that I have to go off script and comment on this. These are wild times. I would never have thought I would see something like this in modern history, where a leader's death has happened, and fix my collar here, and their office would be quiet about it, and and just doing the full-on cover-up, man. But I guess I understand, because this is Netanyahu getting bombed by the Iranians and getting taken out. Not just him, Ben-Gvir as well, because we haven't seen hide or hair. And look, one of the most important things I have to point out as the most dangerous place for someone to be is between either Ben-Gvir and Netanyahu and a television camera. All right? So we've had 2 AI videos come out that are clearly AIs. The internet has just picked them apart. I'm not going to waste your time watching them. You've already have if you're watching this video. And this is just like the 1970s with Franco here in Spain. He was dead. Everybody knew he was dead, but the office wasn't admitting he was dead. Same with Bibi. Everyone knows he's dead. And those that are not admitting to this are on the payroll. They're on the take. They're on the system. And it is wild times that we're in, and we have to do this, man. We have to do what we're doing. There's no other way through this. So Iran and the USA have to keep up the war, because this situation in Israel is untenable, man. These people just want war, 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 and war, and lie and lie and lie and lie. And I'm just done with it. Lying about Bibi being alive lets me know that you are not a good government, not a good people, not a good state. And that your people are standing behind this lets me know that the people are in total fear of their government. Let me repeat that. The people not out in the streets saying, where in the heck is Netanyahu? Who is our elected leadership right now? Is tantamount to saying, we are scared of our government. We are scared of our situation. We are in fear. And that they're not admitting honesty and being forthright, it just lets you know these people have been bad since the get-go. And they are in big, big trouble. Big trouble. One of the things that's absolutely obvious is, first of all, most people are not going to work. Shipping has been cut to a minimum. And so supplies are starting to wear out. Supplies are being run down. And people are not working. So income is not being generated by families. Most families can only go 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 2 months, and deplete their savings. And that's where Israel is right now. They've gone 17 days without children going to school, without people going to work. Tel Aviv has been absolutely at a dead standstill. Sirens are going off all the time in Israel. All you have to do is go to Ynet, and breaking news, and you will get a litany of sirens going off. So I'm in Spain right now, and currently it is 5:05 in the afternoon, and sirens in the Galilee Panhandle at 4:12, sirens in Western Galilee, and this just goes on all day. Alert in Galilee Panhandle, So all day, all night, there are sirens going off in Israel, and the people are exhausted emotionally. Okay? And the damage that these Iranian missiles have been doing have been extensive. I was watching a YouTuber today talking about a missile taking out an entire synagogue, and that the congregation that was there on Sunday went into the basement. And these missiles are so powerful. This was a heavy, purpose-made bomb shelter. And the missile got through the bomb shelter and took out everybody that was in the bomb shelter. You know, and do I feel bad for Israel? Not one bit. Not one bit. Because I know Israel was built on a lie. They've taken land and lives and money and from Palestinians that have lived there, and what comes around goes around. Karma is real. This is what they've been doing to the poor Gazans who are completely and utterly helpless and unarmed. It's just a big old kill box. Sow what you reap, man. Sow what you reap, and that's just them's facts. So what Iran is doing is a war of attrition. And Israel does not have the time, treasure, talent to engage in this kind of war. That's why they always sent America to fight their wars. That's why the U.S. Army, which I'm a veteran of, was engaged in so many wars for so many years. So this is Israel fighting its own war, and they started it. They launched the United States launched this war with Israel against Iran, and it's panning out. Now, I will tell you this from an absolute Q perspective, which we're very much a channel of. I will tell you that this is probably one of the biggest drops of the whole Q, the Q effort, the Q psyop, and that is drop 916. We are saving Israel for the last. Very specific reason, not mentioned a single time. That is huge. The other thing is Q had always alluded to China, Russia, and the United States already working together during the operation, and we got those acknowledgments from Russia, from the Russian envoy, that yes, that is the case, through a Q plus framework. So, bam. I think that the U.S. is working hand in glove with the Iranians. I think Trump, during the time where Kushner and Whitlock were meeting with the Iranians, they were coming to terms with this operation. And from my very unique perspective, I'm going to say this. We know that a lot of the Middle East, if not all of the Middle East bases, have been attacked. Okay? One of the most important things, we saw a drone attack released yesterday. And a drone flew all over the base until it finally hit a building. The one thing that I saw was there wasn't a soul on that base. There was no movement. And I think our bases are empty, and everybody that worked there has been told, don't come back here again. I don't think Iran's hitting those sites. I think it's us hitting our own sites to making sure that they'll never be used again. Deactivating them to a level that they can never be used again. I think that is us doing that to our own facilities. Demolition, basically. I think I think Trump has worked it out so that we can get all of our bases out of the Middle East. Do we want a Saudi Arabia base in America? Ask yourself that question. Do you want a Qatari, an Iraqi base in the United States? Do you want a China base in the United States? Do you want a Russian base? Do you want any other country to have a base in our country? The resounding answer is no. And I think it's a great insult to all the countries where we have bases. Okay? And I think, and I feel very strongly that's part of what Trump is doing, is withdrawing all of our troops from abroad as much as possible. Destroying the bases so they cannot be used again, and turning the land back over. That's been developed. Don't get me wrong. It's developed and ready for utilization, but it's not going to have the heavy security stuff. That to me is obvious. And Iran is just laying it into Israel every single day, every single night. Every single day, every single night, just sending missiles. And it's surgical. And that's why I asked the question in this stream, this live stream. Is Bibi here? Because if Bibi was here, he would be in front of a camera. Those two AI videos that they released, the six-finger one and the coffee one that had the date of 2024 and just so many inconsistencies in it. First of all, that's not the way Bibi is. He's not a casual walking around drinking coffee kind of a guy. No. He is an uptight monster. So, you know, that casual stuff, that just, like I saw on the internet all over Twitter, confirmation of the death, confirmation of the death, confirmation of the death. So this tells me that the entire state of Israel is in fear. They cannot admit to the death of their dear leader, their beloved leader. From the government to the people. And it's got to come out. Weekend at Bernie's can go on just so long. And this is Weekend at Bibi's. This is definitely Weekend at Bibi's. And they're propping him up with AI and anything they can. And he's making statements. But all of us that know the real Bibi now, and his real name is Merjakowski, I believe, Milakowski, is that he would be in front of a camera and just go on and on and on and on and on, and it would be real. He'd have no problem getting in front of a camera and talking about it and then going on about something else. No. He is gone. And Israel it cannot face that fact. And Weekend at Bernie's is going to happen. And that is going to leave a big gaping hole. And I think it's going to be a panic mode. I think because they don't have any other bullies that they can put in that seat like Ben-Gvir and Netanyahu. And that's what Israel really does, doesn't it? It puts a big old bad bully in the seat of the prime minister and just gives him all the power that he needs to control Israel and go forward. So there was no real need, there was no real push to get Netanyahu out of office. Vast number of Israelis support the war on Iran, but more importantly, they totally supported the genocide happening in Gaza. So that just lets you know that whatever they're getting right now from Iran, they justly deserve. I am an American, I'm a U.S. veteran, and I have sworn to uphold the Constitution. And nowhere in the Constitution does it say we can have bases on foreign lands, and we have a way to do war. And this way that we've been doing war for the last 100 years? No. No. We have to get back to the Constitution, which is a great document. And if we can just slow down the political rhetoric in America, then we can get back to being a democracy. And it's not just the political rhetoric, it's the corruption. It is the out and out corruption. And to that point, there's been a call for a long time for a constitutional convention in the United States, because our leadership in Washington is corrupt, irresponsible, and unaccountable. So they can do whatever they want, and there's no one being held to accountability. I was having an excellent conversation with a dear friend of mine who's Chinese, and we had a big accident in the United States, and she says, well, who got fired? Who's going to jail? What are they going to do to bring justice to this? And I told my friend, nothing. And she said, my gosh, in China, the department head would be fired in shame. The people that had direct responsibility to what caused that accident would either be fired in shame or prosecuted as criminals, especially if there was loss of life. So this is the reality of the United States. We have unaccountability. People get away with whatever they want to. That's how an Epstein was created. So a constitutional convention would be grand. Hopefully, all of this is teaching us a lot, and we're evolving. But I know that Bibi Netanyahu being gone is causing and going to cause a lot of problems in Israel. And I don't think Iran's going to stop. I don't think anybody has any mercy. And I think Iran, with the permission of the world, aims to make what is Israel now look exactly like Gaza. And yes, the panic that was going in Gaza, where no food, water supplies, gasoline, that's all happening starting today and yesterday. And for the next many weeks, there's going to be a huge panic set into Israel. They're going to run out of food, and they're going to run out of drink, and they're going to run out of gas, they're going to run out of stuff. That's just the reality. And they're running out of money. Nobody's working, so the economy isn't moving. People aren't getting a paycheck, not showing up to work. That can only go on for just so long. People have to work to bring in a paycheck to be able to go buy food and pay their bills and keep the economy going. But I think right now we are in a 17-day. The last time this happened, it was 12 days. It was 12 days, and that was crazy for the Israelis, wild, but they got through it because it was just 2 weeks. And then work and school and everything went on. Life went on like semi-normal, even though they're killing children and unarmed people in Gaza. Yeah. Now they're on day 17, and Iran and Lebanon are not slowing their rocket fire into the country, and they mean to make it look like Gaza. Reap what you sow. Reap what you sow. So yeah, from a Q perspective, we are getting out of the Middle East. We are getting out of the business of having bases on other people's country, whether they want us there or not, and letting countries be their own sovereign selves. You know, and we've created the monsters through media and brainwash that we are defending ourselves from. Okay, I can tell you, because I've become great friends with a lot of Chinese folks. Yes, a lot of Chinese people do like to go live in other countries and enjoy it. Do they want to invade another country? No. China likes China. and they're proud of their country, and they just want to be able to live in their country. Do they want to invade another one? Not in the least. Why? Because the food isn't good in other countries for them. The food is amazing in China, the lifestyle, and the way they eat and what they do. And trying to invade another country and make it Chinese? No, you got to be Chinese to be Chinese. Same with Russia. Russia's got enough land and enough to deal with. They don't need to invade anybody else. It was NATO set up to defend the Europeans from the Russians, which was not the case at all. NATO was just an antagonist organization trying to fight the Russians. Thank God President Trump came in and stopped all that nonsense. So we are having a military de-escalation at the same time taking out a very dangerous enemy who really has caused a lot of our war and discontent in and around the world. So, yeah, this is a just deserved situation. And yeah, Bibi is here no more. Bibi is not on this plane. Where his spark went, what happened to what is him, we don't know. But he's not here anymore, and neither has Ben Gvir. And that just means Israel has lost all of its leadership. And they can in no way win this war. I think probably by the middle of this week, we'll see some real panic start to set in Israel. And yeah, they're only letting out like limited number of flights with a limited number of people, like 50 people or 75 people on an outbound flight. They are limiting the people that can leave Israel, making them basically human shields. And from the destruction that I've seen, and some of the videos I've seen, there's been a lot of lives lost that we don't know about, that Israel isn't talking about. Not a good country. Now, I will tell you this. In closing, the Israelis are not getting a lot of sleep. Okay? The Israelis are not getting a lot of sleep because, as I pointed out earlier, the sirens are going off all the time, and they're having to rush into bomb shelters. One of the other problems that they're having, frankly, is keeping teenagers in the bomb shelters. The teenagers are getting restless, and they're hating being trapped with their parents, with everything else in those bomb shelters. So teenagers have become a problem because they keep escaping the bomb shelters, and parents freak out. So that is just an interesting byproduct of all of this. But the bomb shelters are being destroyed. And people are getting worn out by this. By contrast, the Iranians are sleeping just fine. I've seen a couple of videos released of Iranians, what they're doing during the war. They're taking care of their farms. They're doing their daily activities, especially in the small country villages. They don't know. They don't even know what war is going on. Day-to-day life is just fine throughout Iran. And Iran is a big, big country. Big mountainous country. And that was the whole irony to me of Iran even wanting to start, of Iraq, of Israel wanting to start a war with Iran. Because there's just no way to have a war with Iran. Tehran is not Iran. Tehran is a big city. It's the international city. But Iran is a big country, and it has some big, beautiful, gorgeous, olden cities that are just precious, man. Just precious. All throughout Iran. And it's in mountainous territory. So Iraq is mostly desert and flat. And so that was one of the reasons why the invasion went pretty much on the poor Iraqis. But Iran is just mountain mountain, and it's just a long, long way. And there's not resources to maintain an invasion. You have to bring all your own fuel. You have to bring all your own food. There's no fuel stop, so you have to create a fuel stop. You have to create a whole infrastructure, because Iran is not that advanced in their civilization. Mercifully, thankfully, they've been able to keep some of the oldest religions, some of the oldest traditions in the world. So Zoroastrianism, Mandaeanism, yeah, and the pure form of Islam. And there are Jews in Iranian Jews, Iranian Catholics that go back centuries, Christians, Iranian Christians, that go back to the original time of Christ, one would say. So that has all been preserved in Iran, thankfully. Yeah, this is not what we've been sold, what we've been told, and what I believed. I will tell you this, October 6th, when this war started with Iran, with Gaza, when the invasion of Gaza happened, October 7th, October 6th, I was a Zionist. I was all about Israel and, got to protect those people and stuff. And then I saw October 7th, and as I said yesterday in the live stream, the parachuting, the parachuting Palestinians. I knew that the whole thing was a put on, a psyop, and it sucked for all the people that lost their life due to the Israeli murdering their own, using the Hannibal Directive. So helicopters came in and just tore into all those vehicles, tore into all those people using Hellfire missiles. It was horrible. Man, the crimes that Israel has committed are legendary and almost innumerable. So, that Israel picked a lot of fights. They picked this big one with someone that's been ready for it, that's been wanting it, and reap what you sow. Reap what you sow. I'm sorry, Bibi's not going to be here to watch the end, but the end is nigh. All right. That is roughly a half hour. Anybody have any questions or any comments before I sign off? Okay. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for keeping up on this. And keep your eyes peeled, because this is just going to get crazier and crazier in Israel. And the Iranians are sleeping absolutely deeply and profoundly and comfortably. So, what we saw in Gaza is not going to be anything like we see in Israel when things start to de-evolve, the de-evolution of Israel, because the people in Gaza, that's their land, man. And there's been a lot of videos of people talking to Gazans, where they're hearing artillery still in the background. And they said, man, why don't you get away from this artillery? He's like, oh, no. This is my land. I will die on my land. I will not run. They can come here and kill me all they want, but I'm not running, and this is my land. Conversely, this is not the land of the Zionists. And those that can get out and leave are getting out and leaving. A lot have already gone and left, running back to their original land with their original passports. And those that can't go are the ones that are stuck. And I'm just going to have to take whatever Iran decides to dish out. The Iranians, but the Iranians. And I don't believe for a second that that the U.S. is bombing anything in Iran. Just not seeing it. All right, that is my analysis. This is a half hour done. And I will see you all tomorrow at 5 o'clock Madrid time and 12 o'clock Eastern.